I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
People come up and say, hey Bruce, are you really that good? I said, well, if I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
has helped.
Can't help the bruises, but I got frostbite. Lee, I want you to teach me what you did the other night.
I already told Miss Bell I can't.
I'm willing to empty my cup in order to taste your tea.
Your open-mindedness is cool, but it doesn't change anything. I don't believe in system, Mr. Longstreet, nor in method. And without system, without method, what's to teach?
But you had to learn. You weren't born knowing how to take apart 3 men in a matter of seconds.
True, but I found the cause of my ignorance.
Well, help me find mine.
Well, what's going on here?
Excellence.
Kick me in the stomach as hard as you can.
Oh, wait a minute, I don't want to hurt you.
I'm holding an air shield. Come on.
Drive right through it, won't I?
I'll risk it.
Okay.
Come here. Now, put your hands in here. Hold it against your side. Brace yourself. Now, I want you to feel the difference when I put my body behind the kick. When I count to 3, exhale strongly. I'll be kicking you.
Okay.
Can you stand behind me?
Who's there? Who is that?
It's me, baby. Just in time to pick up the pieces.
Oh, ho, ho.
You ready?
Ready.
1, a 2, a 3. Hey,
You all right?
What did I tell you? That guy's fantastic. Pax, quiet down, boy. Quiet, he's a friend.
Yeah, fantastic. What is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, 截拳道, the way of the intercepting fist.
Intercepting fist, huh?
Or foot. Come on, touch me. Any way you can. You see? To reach me, you must move to me. Your attack offers me an opportunity to intercept you. In this case, I'm using my longest weapon, my sidekick, against the nearest target, your kneecap. This can be compared to your left jab in boxing, except it's much more damaging.
I see. Well, speaking of a left jab...
Oh, this time I intercept your emotional tenseness. You see, from your thought to your fist, how much time was lost.
Not much. Yeah, Lee's gonna teach me all this.
I cannot teach you. Only help you to explore yourself, nothing more.
All right, come on, let's explore some more of those kicks, huh? Hey, stick around, Duke, and pick up some pointers.
No. Too rigid. Now listen to the beat, and listen to my movement, okay? Now, relate to me now. Move. No. Now, don't just move for the sake of moving. Relate to me. Relationship. You're where? Adjust. Now, open it up a little bit. Feel the wind blowing. The bird. You hear the bird chirping?
Yes.
Very good. Now, let it flow. Open it up. Kick with it. Yes! Now, how did it feel to you?
Like, I didn't kick, it kicked.
Terrific. Now, once more.
Now, wait a minute, I gotta think.
You have to think. You still do not understand.
Wait, I did it, didn't I?
You think a fight is one blow, one kick, until you can put combinations together without even thinking. Until you learn how to keep moving and to endure. Hire a bodyguard or lead a less aggressive life. Don't charge in blindly. You got to listen. Listen. Now, you don't hear the bird now, do you?
No.
If you don't hear the bird, you cannot hear your opponent. Where am I?
There.
No! Your thoughts are wrong.
Look, I'm trying to learn how to fight, not how to think.
May it be well with you, Mike.
Wait a minute, what are you doing? You quitting?
Good morning.
Good morning. Lee, sorry I blew it yesterday. Can we pick up where we left off? It's No, it's a matter of survival now. I talked to Jim Bolt.
You went to him?
I tried to get him to blow his cool, but so far it hasn't worked. Well, now I have to go down to the dock and fight him.
You have a quarrelsome mind, Mr. Longstreet. Unless you learn how to calm it, you will never hear the world outside.
Now, you just tell me what I have to do to get you back.
Nothing you can do.
All right, then I'll just have to fight him as is. Well, yeah, I want you to believe it's more than just learning how to defend myself. There were a couple of times there when you were teaching me that I felt that my body and my head really were together. It's funny that out of a martial art, out of combat, I'd feel something peaceful, something without hostility. Almost as though if I knew Jeet Kune Do, it'd be enough simply to know it, and by knowing it, never have to use it.
Do you always know the right thing to say?
Have I said it?
Where are my eyes? Point to them. Thrust to them.
What?
Finger jab.
No.
Don't worry, I've covered them.
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Because of your blindness?
I just can't do it.
Listen, the finger jab is the most effective attack.
Well, let's just forget that attack, shall we?
The man who beat you up that night, would he hesitate to gouge out your eyes?
Look, that's his problem.
A bird would, a cat would, without thinking.
I'm not a bird, I'm not a cat, and I do think.
That's your problem. All right, forget about the eye jab. Now, you can sense where my eyes are, right? Relax, relax. Now, that's the eye flick. Side kick. All right, now listen to me. Listen to my movement, okay? Ready? Keep moving. Flick and go. Now, the two motions are both part of one motion. Now, you try. Faster. A little bit smoother. Well, your head and body are still not one.
Well, when will they get together?
Once more! What is your instinct?
To pray!
In this position, your arms are useless.
Yeah.
Can you kick or stomp me?
No.
Then, if you wish to survive, what do you do?
I don't know.
Bite.
Bite?
Are we not animals? You all right?
I can't find much evidence to the contrary, Lee. Bite, huh?
Biting is efficient in close quarter, but don't make a plan of biting. That is a very good way to lose your teeth.
There's so much to remember.
If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or creep or drip or crash. Be water, my friend.
Why don't I just stand in front of Bolt and recite that to him? Maybe he'll faint or drown.
When is it?
Tomorrow.
You are not ready.
I know.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying. May it be well with you, Mike.
I always say that everything, that my father, that Bruce Lee, is actually all about love, because everything he did from his heart. There's so many different ways in which I have grown my relationship with my father, even though he's not here. He died when I was 4. So, of course, I was very young. But the memory that I have of him that is very clear is his presence, what it was like to have his attention and his love and his focus. That feeling has nurtured me throughout my life, even though I only had him for 4 years. It grounded me. It sort of gave me a way of looking at the world. It's powerful. And yes, I mean, my mom always said that the way he was in his films, the way he was in interviews, was the way he was. Like, that's the man. That way of speaking, that intensity, that poetic essence, the energy of him, that's how he was. On camera, off camera, at home, with friends, teaching, filming. That was his goal, really, which is total integration. Like, to be who you are fully, all the time, no matter what your setting.
I mean, you gotta put the whole hip into it and snap it and get all your energy in there.
I didn't train in martial arts after my father died when I was a kid growing up. But as I got older, there was a part of me that wanted to train because that was a way for me to know him. 1,000 punches with the right, 1,000 punches with the left, you know. He would keep, like, you know, ran 1 mile, 6.5 minutes, cycled to Black Belt magazine. Lou Alcindor called, that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, before he changed his name. You know, punch 500 times with the right, 500 times with the left. These are just his different business cards. He had a lot of different ones. This is an artifact that my father had made. It's a miniature headstone. It's super heavy.
Running water never grows stale, so you gotta just keep on flowing.
I mean, I really started to really gain some good depth into his philosophy in my late teens and early 20s. Now that I'm much older, I have that same desire of integration and authenticity in my life. I just want to keep working on who Shannon Lee is and move through the world more authentically and more easily as time goes by. I ultimately feel like my mission is one of service, which is why running these businesses works for me. I'm not so interested in business. I'm more interested in spreading this message because I think it has value to humanity. We're a mission-based company. Like, we have a message that we believe in. We have values, you know, that stem from my father and who he was as a human being and what the impact he was trying to create in the world, and we're just trying to amplify that as much as possible. We created the medium of the podcast as one example to be able to have like a bigger format, a longer format in which to really break down some of his thoughts, ideas, his wisdom, then also create actionable steps off of it so that you can really put it in your toolkit and really apply it to your life. Who I am beyond that is, you know, I'm a creative, I'm a joyful person, I love to just laugh.
I am, right?
And be connected with people and read and write. My favorite quote is one that is not as well known. The medicine for my suffering I had within me all along. For me, that really helped me at a time in my life when I was really suffering, which was after my brother's death. And it was a very dark time, and I was in a lot of pain for a lot of years. It says, you have the power within you. You know, you don't have to wait for somebody else to hand it to you or somebody else to tell you the secret code, you know, to the universe. Like, you have the ability, if you look for it, if you can shift your perspective a little to, you know, just to the left, a tiny bit, like a whole nother world opens up. So that's my favorite quote.
In the United States, I think something about the Oriental, the true Oriental should be shown.
Hollywood sure as heck hasn't.
You better believe it, man.
When I see all of this going on in Hollywood with the whitewashing of Asian characters and all of that, how I'm like, oh my God, this is like 40 years later and it's still going on. Like
if I were born, let's say, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
if I have a thought in my mind, I said, boy, I'm gonna star in a movie or star in a television series in America. Well, that might be a vague dream, but I think right now, maybe, man.
things change and they don't change, right? There are many people who just want to be, they just want to do their craft, the thing that they love, whether that's acting or what have you, and not have it have to be a thing, you know, like about, you know, and be able to go out for the roles that represent them and be represented in Hollywood, you know, because they exist in real life and they should be represented, you know? I mean, like that we're even having this discussion sometimes. I'm like, why are we even having this discussion? It's so crazy. But, you know, it's the same thing. My father came up against it then too. Like he didn't get cast in Kung Fu, the TV series, because he didn't think a Chinese man could carry a lead role on a TV series. And even today there aren't that many, you know, Asians that are in leading roles in TV. And so it's just sort of mind-blowing. And
unfortunately, such thing does exist in this world, you see, like, I don't know, certain part of the country, right? Where, like, they think that business-wise, it's a risk. And I don't blame them, I mean, in the same way, it's like in Hong Kong, if a foreigner come and became a star, if I were the man with the money, I probably would have my own worry of whether or not the acceptance would be there. But that's all right, because if you honestly express yourself, it doesn't matter, see?
we want to have a whole host of amazing Asian characters and things in our projects as well, and so I'm just hoping to have some impact by continuing my father's message and my father's legacy, so that there's not this really shallow, one-dimensional view of Bruce Lee as that kung fu guy who's super cool. You know what I mean? Like, yes, that is true, but there's so much more, and there's so many struggles that he went through in his life, and so much he had to overcome, and so much strength and inner, you know, confidence and fire that he had to have, and that's really what I want people to see.
Under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.
My father believed in cultivating the individual, but within an ecosystem of man and planet, you know what I mean? And you don't have to push someone else down to raise yourself up. We can all raise up, and I think that's what the message we're trying to get across.